Hi. So we'll be starting off with concept number 14 today. The concept number 14 is mostly based on commodity based on depreciation or increment based questions. Okay. The concept 14 talks about the depreciation or increment based concepts. So here is one value of the incremented value being equal to the original value multiplied by 10 plus x or 10 minus x upon 100. Here x is the percentage change or the percentage increase or decrease. Now I'll tell you something really like fascinating about it. If you look at the formula, the first formula, the increment incremented value is equal to the original value multiplied by 100 plus x divided by 100. Okay, I'll just change the pen and show you what I'm talking about. If this 100 plus x goes in the denominator of the incremented value, now the incremented value has a denominator that is bigger in size. Okay, the incremented value has a denominator that is bigger in size. And I have taught you in one of the previous classes that whenever the denominator is big in size, it would reduce the final output of the fraction. So in this manner, if something is already incremented and I have given it a higher denominator, a, an inflated denominator, so it would automatically bring down the incremented value back to its original value. Also, if I write it in this manner, that incremented value is equal to original value, then I can say that the original value is equal to the 100% which is written in the denominator, and the incremented value is equal to 100 plus x% which is written in the denominator of itself. So this shows that the equation is balanced on both ways. When I say the word equation itself means that there is a balance between both the sides. So I hope you understand what I am talking about over here. This will be clearer when I solve a question for you. The price of a bike is 75,500. What will be the price of a bike after reduction of 17%? I am assuming the price of the bike was 100 and there is a reduction of 17 now. Okay, 17% minus. So out of 100, when I reduce 17%, it only leaves 83% with me. Okay, and now I have to multiply this 83% with the 75,500 multiplied by 83%. Okay, that is the 83%. Now I have a really cool thing to give you. 75,500 is the proper amount, is the original value. Now had I multiplied this 75,500 with 100%, the I have multiplied it by 100%. Okay, so the output would be equal to 75,500 because I am multiplying it with one quantity which is complete in itself. Okay, I am multiplying it with one quantity which is complete in itself. Similarly, if now I am multiplying it with a quantity which is not complete in itself, it is lesser than 100%, so the output would be lesser. And why is the output lesser? Because in the question it says there is going to be a reduction. Reduction of how much? Reduction of 17%. So 755 multiplied by 83. Okay, I will show it with another color thing, with another color marker. This percentage sign can be cancelled out with the last two zeros. Okay, because the percentage sign would give you 100 in the denominator and they can be cancelled out. I'm just skipping steps to help you understand how quickly things can be done. Now, this can be multiplied pretty easily. Okay. Now, 3 5s are 15, 3 5s are 15, another 16, 3 7s are 21, another 22. Multiplied by 8 5s are 40, 0 4, 8 5s are 40, 44. 4 ahead, 8 7s are 56, 56 plus 4 is 60. Now, 5, 6, 6, 6, 2. So, this is the price, this is the new price of the bike, which is now the reduced price of the bike. Cool. So, thank you. Moving on to the next question. This is an important question. This is following the same concept which we have used in the past, hide and seek. Okay. I have used this concept with you in the past, so I'll help you understand this question. Victoria purchased the items that had a combined face value of 4,000 rupees. When I talk about combined face value, it means that let's assume that I have a diary over here. Okay? This is the diary that I have, and this diary I wish to buy. So I take it to the counter, and the counter display, the display where they ask me what is the money I have to pay, that shows 40,000, like 4 lakh. That shows 4 lakh dollars as a combined value. Okay, it means I have bought 4 5 diaries, and the total value comes out to be 4 lakh. There was a discount offered of 10% on the portion of cash payment made, and there was a surcharge on the portion of credit card payment made. Okay, there was a surcharge on the portion of credit card payment made. If Victoria paid 378,000 as a total money, then what is the amount that she paid via credit card, including surcharges? Okay, the question is being asked to tell the amount paid using credit card plus surcharges, and we in the question we have two ways of paying it: credit card credit card plus surcharges, and cash. Okay, this is cash minus discount. Cash minus discount. So what we'll do is we will hide the credit thing. Why? Why am I hiding the credit thing right now? Because if I hide the credit thing, this would come out in the end and would give me the final answer. Okay. So 4 lakh, 4 lakh was supposed to be paid. 4 lakh dollars was supposed to be paid. One place there was a 10% discount, and the other place was there a 2% surcharge. Okay. So when I talk about 100% and there is a 2% surcharge, I talk about 102%. When I talk about discount, there is a discount of 10%, so I talk about paying only 90%. This, if I wish to pay only 90%, I will have to use cash. If I wish to pay, like if I wish to pay 102%, I would use my credit card. I'm using the word card over here. Okay. Now to do the calculations, I just change my pen color. 102% and 90%. So, as I've told you that I would seek only the cash part of it. So 90% of 40,000 of 4 lakh, that is equal to, I'm just writing it down here quickly, okay? 90% of 4 lakh dollars. 4 LK, 4 lakh dollars. That is equal to 3 lakh $60,000. Okay, we have 3 lakh $60,000 which are with us, which we have to pay. But originally she paid 3 lakh $78,000. She paid 3 lakh $78,000. What is the extra amount that she had to pay? What is the extra amount that she had to pay? That is $18,000. The $18,000 comes with the difference between 378 and 360. Okay, the $18,000 she had to pay extra. Now, where did the $18,000 come from? Because we were committing a mistake, and the mistake was very deliberate. And the deliberate mistake was that we were considering the entire payment has been done in cash. But the entire payment was not done in cash. Some part of it was done in credit card, some part of it was done in cash. How much was the difference between the credit card and the cash payment? The gap was 12%. The gap was 12%. And this gap is visible in the 18,000 which you had to pay. If I cancel out this 18,000 with the 12%, removing the percentage sign, I introduce 100 over here, and 12, 15 is 180. So it tells me that 1,50,000 dollars, $1,50,000 was paid through $1,50,000 was paid through what card? And this has reappeared. This is the magic of solving maths with me. This is the sort the magic of knowing this very beautiful trick of hide and seek. Now, this $1,50,000 is not the final answer. It has asked that there is a surcharge which needs to be included. So the reappeared card would have a surcharge of 2%. Applying the 2% on 1,50,000, the percentage strucks away two zeros, and 2 multiplied by 1,500 would give us 3,000. So 1,53,000 is the final answer. Got it? So this is the final answer. Moving on, there is a concept of population increase and decrease. First of all, there is an original population. There is an original population of a town, and X% increment has been done in the population. If it is done only once, I would multiply it with 100 plus X upon 100. Make sense? Does it make sense? 100 plus X upon 100 would be the population that has increased only once. If it increases one more time with the same percentage, I would again multiply it with 100 plus X upon 100. Let's assume this goes on year. Okay? In year on year basis, this happens multiple times. If it happens, let's say for n number of years, so we would have a power, an exponent, okay, a power of n with it. So the number of times it is multiplied. So this formula is nothing but the population increase by percentage for n number of years. Okay, so you understand the derivation of where I'm coming from. Similarly, if I introduce this sign with a minus, this will talk about population decrement or the population decrease for that particular year. So the population n years ago would be equal to the original population divided by this thing option. Okay. So what is happening over here is this is the old population and this is the original population. This is the old, or you may even say new population. What actually happens is it depends. If you are going in the forward direction, it is the new population. If you are moving in the reverse direction, this is the old population. So it depends solely on the person. Also, if there is an increment decrement with different percentage value, so they can be introduced as plus x plus y plus z, or minus x minus y minus z. Okay, so here are the main areas of increment as well as decrement. Increment, decrement, increment, decrement. This can be a cycle as well. So moving on to the question straight away, so that you get a very clear picture of what I am talking about. During the first year, the population of a town increased by 10%, and during the next year, the population decreased by 10%. If the total population of the year was 19,800 at the end of the second year, find the population size at the beginning of the first year. Okay, beginning of the first year we're talking about. We are sitting at year one, we are sitting at year two, and there is a beginning and an end. Okay, at the end of second year, the population size is 19,800. At the beginning of the first year is the question mark of what is it. There is an increment of 10% plus first, and there is a decrement of 10% secondly. And that brings us to the option of 19,800. So what I'll do is I'll implement the most basic formula which I have. The most basic formula is that the 19,800 has a component. The 19,800 has a component of 90% in it, and if it is multiplied by 100, it would give me the population of second year beginning. Okay, this is second year beginning. Second year beginning can be also said as first year and can also be said as first year end. So this comes out to be 9 to the 18, 9 to the 18, and 1000. So the second year beginning had 2200, 22,000 as the population. Taking one more step ahead, I'll give you a short way as well. Okay, need not worry about it. 22,000. Now this 22,000 has some component of a plus 10%. Okay, has a concept of plus 10%. This plus 10%. This component of plus 10% needs to be seen of where it is coming from. It is hidden inside 22,000. So this component of 110% has to be released. After taking it out, the answer comes out to be 20,000. The answer comes out to be 20,000. This was the population at the first year end, and this is the population of first year beginning, and this was the same thing which was asked for. Find the population at the beginning of the first year. Okay, I'll give you a very short way of doing it. Just look at this. This is the first year population at the beginning. There was a 10% increase. It became 1100, 110. Then there was a decrease of 10%. 10% minus from this is 11 minus from 110. That would give me 99. The question says that the value of 99 is equal to 19,800. Then what is the value of 100? 19800 divided by 99 multiplied by 100. The answer of this would be equal to 20,000. This entire story could have been solved in a single line as well. This is the shortest thing here. See how beautiful this is. This is the shortest method. This is the shortest method available. So this is how you understand. This is how you go ahead with time. Okay. Moving on. Now this is a really crazy question. This is a really crazy question that has come in multiple exams. And trust me, it is. I call it crazy because there are easier ways to solve it, and people have really difficult ways to solve it. This particular entire theory, you may read it on your own. You may read it on your own, but I have a very small concept. The question says that there is a girl, her name is Meera, and there is a boy, his name is Shyam. Okay, there is a girl, Meera, and there is a boy, Shyam. Meera scored some X percentage of marks and she failed. Failed. Okay, she failed. There is Shyam. He scored some Y percentage of marks and he passed. And passed not on the border, but he overpassed. What do we mean by overpassed? Let's say that 40% is the benchmark for passing the exam and you score 60%. If your friend scores 40%, he passes. If you score 60%, you pass. He also passes, you also pass. So we can't say we are not able to differentiate between you and your friend because both of you come out of the examination hall out of after seeing the result and say I've passed, I've passed. So there is no competition. There is no there is no way to see who has scored more, who has scored less. So there is something called overpassing. Overpassing means how much extra, how much extra you've scored above the standard pass percentage. How much extra have you scored? 60%. 60% is equal to 20% plus pass. So you understand? 20% plus pass. So similarly, when I have to equate both of them, and if Meera has failed, if Meera scores 39%, she fails. If Meera scores 20%, she again fails. If Meera is crying at 39%, I can tell her that there is no need to cry because you failed by 1 mark. If Meera is crying by 20% and she's just sobbing, I'll tell her, Meera, you need to cry profusely. You need to let it all out. You need to cry very hard because you actually couldn't do very well. And after she's done crying, then I'll tell her, okay, we have a mission to achieve. We have to work harder next time. Okay? I'll be a little strict. And if she's on the corner, I'll tell her, need not worry. Next time you just have to score 1% extra to pass. So if Mira is failing, so I have to add the same marks of failing by, of how many marks she is failing by. If Sham is passing, I have to subtract. I have to subtract the marks by of passing by, of how many marks he is passing by. In the very clear, in clarity, what needs to be done is look at here. Mira percentage plus failing by is equal to Sham percentage minus passing by. Okay, got it? This entire story is going to remain in percentage terms, and this entire story would remain in numeric form or absolute form. Absolute form. Okay? Absolute form. Absolute form. Okay, moving on directly to the question. Geeta scored 30% and failed by 50 marks, while Sandeep scored 45 marks and got 25 marks extra. This is the overpassing, which I have talked to you about. Overpassing. More than the minimum marks required to pass. How many marks did Bhumil get if she scored 64% marks? Okay, I'm going to use a very strong unitary method over here. And for the students who haven't seen the videos in the past, please see the videos. I have given 4 or 5 good cues. I have given you 4 or 5 good methods. You will do a lot better if you saw those videos and then came down to this video. Overpassing and scoring less. Now the score of Geeta is 30% and she was left behind by 50 marks. Sandeep scored 45% and got 25 marks more. So this benchmark of Geeta scoring 30% and scoring an additional 50% would bring her to the border of passing. This on the right hand side, this on the right hand side, having 45% mark and reducing your marks by 25 would bring you to the border, back to the passing point. And these two borders are equal because there is one single line of passing. Beyond that, everybody passes. Beyond this, everybody fails. Okay? Beyond this, everybody passes. Beyond this, everybody fails. So, this is the point I'm making over here. This 30%, now you'll ask me what 30% are. 30% is equal to max mark multiplied by 30 upon 100. Okay? This is max mark multiplied by 30 upon 100. 30 can be written as 30m plus 50, and this 45% can be written as 45m minus 25. 30m can go here, it can become 15m, and 25 can go here and it can become 75 marks. So 15m is equal to 75 and the value of m can be equal to 5 marks. Okay, the value of m can be 5 marks. Now 100% m, this is 1m. Okay, 100% m is equal to 500 marks, and the question says what is 64% m? So 64% m multiplied by 500 upon 100 is the final answer. 320. Okay, so 320 is the final answer. I hope you've understood. If you haven't understood, please reach out to me through the comments and I'll definitely help you out. The second question here is Ravi scored 20% marks in an exam and failed by 25 marks. If he scored 50% marks and then he gets 20%, 20 marks more than the passing marks, what is the passing marks for the exam? 20% and failing by 25 is equal to 50%, and overpassing is minus overpassing by 20. This equation is set taking 20% here, 30% here, or 30m is equal to 20 here as 45. Now the value of n is equal to 45.30 and I need 100m, which is equal to the maximum mark. Okay, 45 upon 30 is equal to 100. 3 is equal to 0. 15 comes out to be 150 marks. Now 150 marks are the maximum marks. We can plug in the value over here in the first equation. The first equation says 20% of n, or the maximum marks, plus 25 is equal to pass. Okay, 20% of 150 is equal to 30, right? 30 plus 25 is equal to 55 marks. Okay, I'm just doing a small calculation over here. 20% of 150 is equal to 30. 30 plus 25 dot is equal to 55. So this is the answer. Moving on. There is a situation, a very frequent real life situation over here, which says that the expenditure is equal to consumption into price. What happens here is that you wish to have sugar and the price of sugar is X. So, and the sugar which you need to have is 5 kg and the price of this is X. So the total expenditure which you would make on sugar would be equal to 5 kg multiplied by X. Sorry, I hope you understand. 5 kg multiplied by the price, the X price would be in rupees, and this would give you a cost. Okay, this would give you a cost of how things are working. If you're able to understand, I'll just help you understand this. If the price increases by X%, then the consumption can be decreased by X upon X plus 100. And if the price decreases, then the consumption can increase by X upon 100 minus X. Okay, so I'll tell you what happens. You love sugar. Okay, you love to have some pudding prepared every day at your home. You love to have muffins, you love to have donuts, and you love sugar. You love sugar, but you have limited income. So you designate only paying 200 rupees for the sugar. Okay, no matter what quantity comes, you never increase your budget. Okay, so we can call it the sugar budget. The sugar budget is 200 rupees. There are good times when sugar is 20 rupees per kg and you get a good lot of 10 kg home. Okay, and then there are bad times. Bad times means the cost of sugar is 40 rupees per kg, 40 rupees per kg. And by that time, you can only get 4 kg sugar. And okay, so this variation comes when the price increases, you tend to bring less of the quantity home. Because if you are not willing to move the budget, if you're not to increase the budget, the shopkeeper is not willing to give you extra goods. Okay, the shopkeeper is not willing to give you extra goods if you are not willing to move your budget. So this is something very important we should need to see. Okay, 10 kg home and 5 kg home. The entire concept is very clear. Now I tell you how to solve questions when it comes to this. The price of sugar has increased by 18%. By what percentage can a person decrease their consumption so there is no change in the expenditure? Okay. When I talk about no change in the expenditure, it means my sugar budget won't budge. Budge. What does budge mean? Won't change. Okay. The sugar budget would not change at any cost. Okay. The sugar budget won't budge. Okay. A half fun intended. The price of sugar has increased by 18%. Okay. Uh, I can say if I have 100 rupees in my pocket and 18% has increased, it is 118. I will try to reduce it to a simpler number to avoid calculation problems. If I have 100 rupees and 50 rupees in my pocket, then I can say that 9 rupees is the cost that has increased because 18% of 50 is equal to 9. Okay. So I'm talking about sugar over here, sugar price, and I'm talking about sugar eaten or the sugar consumption. One thing I forgot to tell you about in the previous slide, there is something, there is a correlation between price and consumption. When I talk about correlation, there is a correlation between price and consumption, and the correlation is that the price tends to fiddle with the consumption in an inverse manner. If the price of sugar is high, then the consumption would be low. Okay, according to economics, in a perfectly normal market, if the price of something is going up, then the consumption would automatically go down. Similarly, if the price of sugar, and this is the sugar would become a dear commodity, dear, dear commodity. And if the price of sugar is going low, then the consumption of sugar would go high, and sugar is not so dear anymore. Okay? Not so dear means nobody loves it. It's a cheap commodity. It can be bought very easily. Like people still love it, uh, but it is not so dear to you. Okay? It's not very precious that you won't take away the spoon out of your child's mouth and don't eat so much sugar. It's like it's available. It's available. The price point would not hit you. Okay? So the sugar price and the sugar eaten is what I'm trying to compare. This is the original, okay, OG is original, and this is the new one. Sugar price was 50% originally. The new price came out to 59, and the sugar eaten. Now, as I've talked about it being inverse in relation. When things are inverse in relation, when things are inverse in relation, you can put a cross over here. Okay, the 59 comes here, and the 50 comes here. Okay, this goes this. This means originally I was eating 59 units of sugar. Now, as the prices have increased, the prices have gone up. Now I'm eating 50, only 50 units of sugar. So the question is the expenditure. The expenditure comes out to be the price multiplied by consumption. The expenditure here is 50 into 59, and the expenditure here is also 59 into 50. So we have achieved the point where there is no change in the expenditure. There is no change in the expenditure. But the question says, by what percentage can the sugar consumption be decreased? This whole area, this area talks about consumption, talks about consumption. So from 59, it can move down to 50. Okay, from buying big batches of sugar, you can go for a smaller batch. And from 50, 59, you can move to 50. From 59, you can move to 50. So the base would remain 59, and the reduction you brought is 9. 9 upon 59 multiplied by 100 would be the answer. So I consider it to be 60. So 15 4s are 60, and 15 6 are 90, 4 1.5 or something. So the answer would be 15 point dash dash percentage. So 15 point something would be the answer, and you can solve it better, you can solve it more, but particular to like SSC and other examinations, it's very clearly written over there. 15% this, 15% that, and the options might not be very close by. Even if they are close by, then I would suggest you to follow the long division method. Okay, 9, 1, 2. Yeah, now you can follow it. It's pretty easy. Moving on, if a reduction of 10% in the price of rice enables a person to obtain 22 kg more for 250 rupees, then what will be the original price of rice per kg? Okay, so 250 rupees is the price, is the original, is the price, that is the expenditure that is being done. So this is the rice budget. This is the rice budget that we're talking about. The original price of the rice needs to be found out. So this is the rice budget that we want. There is a reduction of 10%. Okay. I'll be solving it in a faster manner. 100 rupees was being spent in the past. 100 rupees was being spent in the past. Now 90 rupees is being spent. Okay. Now 90 rupees is the cost of rice. Okay. This is the cost. 100 rupees was the old price. 90 rupees is the new price. The consumption, the consumption is 90 rupees now. 90 rupees then and 100 rupees now. So the total budget remains the same, and the person is also getting some extra rights. Here, here I'll tell you one thing. There is, I'll tell you what. There is an increase of 10%. There is an increase of 10 units. Okay, these 10 units, according to the question, are equal to 22 kgs. Okay, this 10 rupees is equal to this 10 unit is equal to 22 kg. So the value of 90 units, which is equal to old consumption, and the value of 100 units, that is equal to new consumption, can be found out because this 10 over here also has the same unit, which is units. Okay, again a pun. So the units are the same. So if 10 corresponds to 22, 90 would correspond to 189. No, no, 2 nines are 18, and 2 nines are 18, 198. Okay, so 198 kg of rice was being bought. The total price which was being quoted during those times, during those was during those days was 250 rupees. This multiplied by 100 would give me the result. This multiplied by 100 would give me the result. I'm considering this to be 200. So 200 would give me 1.25 and 1.25 would be the answer if this was 200. But this is lesser than 200, so the numerator would have become higher. And what the numerator would become is 1.27 something. So 1.27 would be the final answer. Okay, you got me? How 1.27 would be the final answer? The cost was 10 and the new cost became 9. The old consumption was 9, the new consumption became 10. There is a difference of 1 unit. Here I'm talking about 10. And so I'm solving the question again in a faster, in a much faster manner. The 1 value corresponds to 22, the 9 value corresponds to 198. The 198 kg was being bought for 250 rupees. What is the original cost? The original cost is multiplied by 100. No, 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 no. There is no need of multiplying it by 100. There is no need. This is not percentage, this is cost. So 1.27 is the answer. Okay? Any problem? Moving on. Due to the reduction of workforce, the production in a factory decreases by 30%. By what percentage should the working hours of a person be increased to restore the original production? Okay? The workforce which was coming was 100% in the present, in the past. Okay? The workforce can be interchanged by productivity. Okay? Or the production. The production was 100 in the past. The production now is 30% less, which is equal to 70. So the old hours, now this is talking about hours of work. Okay, I'll just erasing this. This is talking about the old hours of work or the hours of work which were being put in. Okay, this is called work hours. Okay, the work hours are now inversely proportional. So I was putting in 70 hours in the past. Now I have to put in 100 hours. So by what percentage should the working hours be increased so as to restore the original production? Talking about the production quantity. Talking about the production quantity, it is 7,000 here. When I multiply the two above, when I multiply the two above, it again becomes 7,000. So the production quantity remains the same, provided that the working hours have increased. Provided that the working hours have increased. If the base working hours are 70 and it becomes 100, it means 30 working hours are increased. Okay, cut by cut. 7 4 is 28 and another 20. 7 2 is 14. Uh, another 67. 8 is 56. Another 40. 7 5 is 35. So 42.85 is the answer. 42.85 is the answer, which is the percentage of working hours that need to be increased. That need to be increased in order to restore the original production output or the production quantity which I am talking about over here. I hope you understand. Moving on. There is a reduction of 15% in the price of a washing powder, which enables a purchaser to obtain 5 kg more for 12.75. What is the original price of the washing powder? We've done this question in the past, like 2 slides back, the same question was there. I'll try to do it a little more this time. There's a 15% reduction. It means I was paying old and new. I was paying 20 in the past, and this is the price, and this is the quantity. The price and quantity would be the price and quantity would be inversely proportional, so they can be replaced interchangeably. The 17 would come down to 20. The final output would remain the same because 20 into 17 is equal to 17 into 20. There is an increase of 3. there is an increase of 3. The 3 kg, the 3 unit stands for 5 kg. So the original price is being calculated. So 17 units is equal to 5 upon 3 multiplied by 17. 5 upon 3 multiplied by 17. This is the final thing. Now 1275 was the total money that was being spent. Okay, what is this? What is this over here? This is the washing powder budget. 1275. 17 into 5 divided by 3 moves up. Okay, now cancelling it out. 17 sevens are 119, 17 fives are 85, 15 5 15s are 75, 15 threes are 40. 45 rupees is the original price of the washing powder. Okay, again moving ahead, there is a concept which I have already taught you. There is a concept which I have already taught you, and it talks about expenditure. Expenditure is equal to the price and the cost, or the production and the price and the consumption. Okay, the price expenditure is equal to price multiplied by consumption. The price would be stated in units like rupees, dollars, euros, or anything. Euros or anything. The consumption can be in milligram, whatever, or gram. Okay, so I hope you understand where I'm coming from and what I'm talking about. And the expenditure would finally come out to be in rupees. The price would be rupees per kg, or dollars per kg, or dollars per gallon, or euros per gallon. Okay, anything. And the final output would come in expenditure. The question says if there is a change in the price, which is equal to X%, and there is a change in consumption, which is equal to Y%, it can all be reflected in the expenditure. It can all be reflected in expenditure by the simple formula of X% plus Y% plus XY upon 100 plus XY upon 100. So there is a very clear way. There is a very clear way of introducing expenditure to find out the increase in expenditure. Okay, I hope you understand. Moving on. Okay. See, when I apply it, that is when you get it. Before application, it's very difficult to understand. The price of rice have increased by 25%. A person increases his expenditure on rice by 15% only. By what percent should he reduce his consumption of rice to be able to maintain the same level of expenditure? Okay, I'll tell you how this question is being done. The price multiplied by consumption is equal to expenditure. The expenditure is increasing by 15%, and the price of rice is increasing by 25%. Now, this particular 25% needs to have a consumption attached to it, and the consumption has to be decreasing in percentage. I'm writing minus X%. Okay, then another X% to multiply it with X and Y, another X% over here. Okay, I'll just rub off the things which are not useful. I'll just rub this off very kindly. The reason I have used a minus, the whole and sole reason that I am using a minus over here is because there is a reduction, and this minus over here is coming because one of the two terms of 25% being positive and the X% being negative would finally come out to be as minus. So they ask by what percentage should he reduce his consumption of rice so as to maintain the same level of expenditure. So as to maintain the same level of expenditure. I'll be solving the question quickly. 15% is equal to 25% minus x by 4. This comes out to be minus 5x by 4 and 25% here. This is equal to 15%. This minus 1 would come here, 5x upon 4 and 15 will come here. This would make us 10%. So 5 ones are 5 twos are 4 twos are 8. The value of x would be equal to 8%. So he has to reduce his consumption of rice by 8% to be able to maintain the same level of expenditure. If the price of rice is increased by 25%, then by what percentage of consumption should it be decreased? So as the expenditure incurred on rice gets decreased by 40%. So expenditure is equal to consumption multiplied by price. The expenditure needs to decrease minus 40%. And the price of rice has already increased by 25%. The price of rice has already increased by 25%. So, so, uh, by what percentage consumption of rice should decrease? Now there is a price which needs to go down. Now there is a consumption which needs to decrease. So I will write minus x minus 25 into x upon 100. Okay, minus 25 into x upon 100. 25 banta, 25 forza. The same thing is happening over here. It's minus x by 4, so it will come out to be minus 5x by 4. Skipping a step for you to understand how important it is to be speedy, a little more speedy in life. So minus 40%. This minus 40% would come here and make it 65%. 65% is equal to 5x upon 4. As soon as I see 65%, it means it might be the answer might be the answer might be a multiple of 13. So 5 ones are 5 13s are and x this 4 is gonna go here and get multiplied. So this is gonna make 52%. This is gonna make 52% as the answer. So 52% is the answer. Moving down to another point. The family spends 240 rupees per month to buy sugar. There is a rise of 25% in the price of the sugar, and this compels the family to reduce the monthly consumption of sugar as 20 off by 1.5 kgs, as it decides to spend the same amount of money to purchase on the commodity. So 240 rupees is the sugar budget. It is the same sugar budget. Monthly consumption is 1.5 kgs less. What is the increased price of sugar per gram? Okay, so just look at it. There is an increase of price which is 25%. So it, it was 4 in the past, now it has become 5. The consumption was 5 in the past. This is the price, this is the consumption, this is old, this is new. Okay, now there is this. The rise of 25% in the sugar compels the family to reduce the monthly consumption by 1.5 kgs. Here the family is being compelled to reduce 1 unit. The value of 1 unit is 1.5 kgs. So it means it was doing 7.5 kgs of sugar per month in the past, but now it is only doing 6 kgs. Okay, 7.5 is the old sugar consumption and 6 kgs is the new sugar consumption. Now, what is the increased price of sugar per gram? In the past, they were paying 240 rupees here. In the present, they are again paying 240 rupees here. So this 240 rupees here divided by 6 would make 40 rupees per kg as the new sugar price, new sugar price. Okay, so increased price of sugar per gram is 40 rupees. per kg. I hope you get it. Let's move on. When the price of an article was increased by 5%, its sale reduced by 10%. What is the net effect on revenue? The formula is the same. Revenue is equal to price multiplied by quantity sold. So the final result would be the same. Net effect on revenue is being asked. There is an increase of 5% in the price. There is a decrease of 10% in the sales. There is going to be a minus factor coming from this plus multiplied by minus. Minus 10 multiplied by 5 whole divided by 100. 10 with 1 0, 5 1 0, 5 2 0, or the zero point 0.5 already there. So minus 5.5 would be the final answer, which means decrease minus 5.5%. So there is a decrease which is happening. Moving on. Now ticket based concept is there. There there's a sales multiplied by price which equals to the revenue. This is the same thing which we've done in the past. When the price of an item was reduced by 25%, then its sale was increased by X%. If there is an increase in 20% of the revenue received, then what is the value of X? So there is a 20% increase. This is plus. This is equal to minus 25. This is equal to plus X. This is equal to minus and plus coming out down as minus 25% multiplied by X divided by 100. This would create a very similar situation. This minus would go here and it would create 45%. This X% is going to stay here. This X% would be reduced by X by 4%. So this would come out as 3 by 4 of X. This is equal to 45%. 3 15s are 3 15s are and 4 15s are 60. So would be the 60% would be the value of X would be the value of X. I hope you understand. I hope this is very clear. Okay, moving on to the next question. On decreasing the price of a fan by 30%, its sales increase by 40%. What will be the percentage decrease in its revenue? See how sharp they are. They've already written decrease. The price would be the revenue. The revenue would be equal to sales multiplied by price. Okay, multiplied by price. So the output here is decreasing the price of the fan. Okay, the price is being decreased. So minus 30% is the decreased price of the fan. Its sales increase by 40%. Sales are increasing by 40%. Then there is a component of minus 30 multiplied by 40 whole upon 100. 0 with 0, 0 with 0. 3 4s are 12 minus 30 plus 40 minus 12. This makes it minus 42 or minus 42 or minus 2%. There is a decrement. There is a decrement. Okay, minus 2%. This is the final answer. Moving to the next concept. So there is an income, there is some income and there is some expenditure and then there is saving. So what happens over here is like a person earns 100 rupees of income and he spends 70% of it. So the savings that he has is equal to 30%. Then the expenditure increases by 10% and the savings also increase by 10%. Then the question comes out to be how much does the income increase by? When I add these two, I get a value of 1110. I move it here and it says that 1110 is the new salary. So what is the increase? The increase is 10%. This is what we need to know. There is nothing more that needs to be done. Okay. So it says a man percent 65% of his income and 65% of his income, and his income increases by 20%, and his expenditure also increases by 20%. And find the increase in his savings. Okay, so it's all good here. If he is earning 100 rupees, then okay, this is income, I and C. This is expenditure. This is These are savings. Okay, income is 100, expenditure is 65, savings are 35. Okay, now if the income increases by 20%, 120, and the expenditure also increases by 10%. So 10% increases 71.5. If somebody is like smart enough, they would say 65%, 65 multiplied by 10%, it makes it 6.5. 6.5 added with 65 makes it 71.5. Then what is the increase in savings? The first way of finding out the increase in savings is to have the first savings out. 71.5, point 0, point 0.5. Then I have 10 here, if I'm not wrong. No, 9. 9 or 10? 9. Yeah, I've got 10 here, 9 here. 9 here moves out to be 8. And 8 would have 11 here and 48.5. Okay, so 48.5 is the new savings idea. Now the old savings was 35. I need to tell the percentage increase in savings. And the percentage increase in savings is 13.5. 13.5. Okay. I hope that is understandable where I bring this 13.5 from. That is 13.5 is being brought from the difference. Okay. This is the difference. The difference is 13.5. Now 13.5 divided by 48. No, no, no. Divided by 35 multiplied by 100. 35, 5, no, no, no. 5 sevens are 35, 5 twos are 10, and 5 sevens are 35. 7 threes are 21. 7 threes are 21. There's another 6 coming into the picture. There's another 6 coming into the picture. 7 eights are 56. Another full stop needs to come here. Sorry, another decimal term needs to come here. Another 4. So the 4 would come by 5, and another 5, 7, 7. So 38.57. 38.57 is the increase in his savings. Is the increase in his savings. Now moving on. The monthly income of an employee is 26,500 and his monthly expenditure is 22,000. Next year his income increases by 20% and his expenditure increases by 15%. Find the percentage increase in his savings. Okay. I'm gonna solve it right away, right here. 26,500, 22,000 plus savings. The savings are 4,500. Next year is income increase by 20%. So 20% I'll have to do it in my mind. I'll help you do it here. 2 times or I can directly multiply by 12 because 100 plus 20% is 12. Okay, 120%. So 12 5 is 60, 12 0 0, 12 5 is 60, 0 6, 12 6 is 72, 78, 12 2 is 14, sorry, 12 2 is 24, 24 plus 7 is 31. So 31 800 is the new income. And this expenditure increased by 15. By an increase of expenditure of 15%, 15% multiplied by 22,000. So 15 to the 30, 15 to the 30, it makes 33, and 3300 would come here. The 3300 then added into it, it would come out to be 0, 0, 3, 5, 2. So 25,300 is the increase. Now I'm talking about savings. I'll quickly Have to subtract this. 25300. This comes out to be 5. This comes out to be 6. There's 6500. Okay, there's a difference of 6500. I'll have to do this in the long manner, first of all, to increase my accuracy, and second of all, to help you understand of how important it is for you to know, like, the strong foundational ways to do things. Okay, so there's a difference of 2000. There's a difference of 2000 occurring upon 4500 multiplied by 100. Okay, this one with this. 5 nines are 45. 5 fours are 20, double zero. 400 upon 9, anything upon 9 would have 11 in it, so it would have 44, 1 by something, and 44, 4 by 9 is the final answer. Okay? The people who remember 1 upon 9, that is equal to 11, 1 by 9, were very smart. They quickly multiplied 4 with it and used the answer 44 upon 4 by 9. Okay? So this is how the day one of my this percentage class helps. Okay, this is how the day one of the percentage class helps. Now there is a very small concept that there is some income of A, some income of B, and there is some expenditure of A and some expenditure of B. What is the savings of A? The difference between this. What is the savings of B? The difference between this. You'll have to solve the question and you'll get to know what I'm talking about. Okay. In this particular question, it says the income of A is 80% of B is income. The expenditure of A is 60% of B's expenditure. If the income of A is equal to 90% of B's expenditure, then what is the percentage of savings between A and B, whatever. Okay. So what I have to do here is I have to have a differentiation between A and B, and there needs to be a component of income, and there needs to be a component of expenditure. Okay, and in the end there will be a component of savings. These type of questions can only be solved in the reverse order. If you try to move in the forward order, you will not be able to reach anywhere. Okay, you will always have to go in the reverse order. If the income of A is equal to 90% of income of B, so this is the last statement that has been given. So the income of A is equal to 90% of the expenditure of B. If B spends 100, then A is 90. Okay, this is the strongest part till now. Now, if the income of A, the income of A is 80% of B's income. 90 of A is equal to 80% of B. So, what is the value of B? B is 90 upon 8, 900 upon 8. Okay, the expenditure of A is 60% of B's expenditure. 60% of B's expenditure. 60% of B's expenditure would be 60. Okay, and the income of A is 80% of B's income. Yep, I have gotten till here. So it's talking about the percentages. Then by what percentage are the savings of A more than the savings of B? The savings of A is 30%. Is basically 30 divided by 90. That are those are the savings of A. Then what are the savings of B? 90 upon 8 minus 100 is equal to 100 upon 8. 100 upon 8 income minus expenditure divided by 900 upon 8 again. Okay. So the savings. Can I talk about the savings straight away? It's not talking about the savings percentage. Like what are the different percentages? It's just talking about the real world issues, the real world values. The differences are this. These are the differences. And it says then by what percentage are the savings of A more than the savings of B. Okay. The savings of B will be kept as standard 100 upon 8, 100 upon 8. Okay. And the difference need to be calculated in this manner. 8 3 are 24, 240 minus 100, 240 minus 100 would be 240 minus 100 would be 140. 140 divided by multiplied by 100. Cancelling everything out, the answer would be 140%. Okay. If I calculate 100 upon 8, the answer comes out to be 12.5%. 12.5 rupees or whatever unit we are talking about. 12.55 rupees. And the savings of we are 30 rupees straight away. So if you tend to see that this 140% might be a little weird for there to be an answer, then you can calculate it with absolute values. 100 upon 8 is 12.5 rupees. Now 12.5 is if you double it, that means 100%. 12.5's double is equal to 25. Okay, so 25 is there. This entire 25. Now there is 5 more to catch, and 40% of 12.5 is 5. So 140 is not a weird answer. It is the correct answer. Okay, I'll just remove these ticks because these correct signs because these are of no relevance over here. Okay, moving on. Q's income is 250% of Q's income and Q's expenditure is 180% of Q's. If Q's income is 400% of Q's expenditure, then what is the respective ratio of P and Q? Again, reverse ratio, reverse psychology, or reverse order thinking. Reverse order thinking. Okay. So how does the reverse order thinking work over here? How does the reverse order thinking work over here? We go to the last line. If P's income is 400% of Q's expenditure, this is P, this is Q. We're talking about income. We're talking about expenditure. We're talking about income. We're talking about expenditure. If P's income is 400% of Q's expenditure, P's income is 400% of Q's expenditure. If 4, if QX times 100, then 400% of it. It means 4 times. It means 400. Then P's income is 250% of Q's income. P's income is equal to 250% of Q's income. 400 is equal to 250% of Q. It means if I divide it by 250 and multiply both sides by 4, and there would be another 100 over here. So this entire thing would cancel out and give me an answer of 160. So Q's income is 160. Also, there is another way. It says uh, P's income is 250% of Q's income. What is the income of Q? If I tell you that 400 in itself contains two and a half times of some quantity. 400 in itself contains two and a half times of some quantity, or 400 divided by two and a half times. Two and a half times 1s are two and a half times 40s are, which is equal to 160. So you see how this works out to be. If P's income is 400% of Q's expenditure, P's income is 400% of Q's expenditure. We have already made that pretty evident of how it is going to work out. Then P's income is 250% of Q's expenditure has been done. Q's income and Q's expenditure is 180% of Q's expenditure. This is 100. Now 180. Then what is the respective ratio between the savings? The savings here are 60 and the savings here are 220. Now 60, I'm going to solve it here. 220 is equal to 60. This with this is 3s, this is 11s. 11 is to 3 is sorted. Well said, well said. Okay, let's move on. The ratio of the incomes of A and B in 2020 was 5 is to 4. Okay, the ratio of incomes of A and B in 2020 was 5 is to 4. Now, this is a very strict kind of a concept. Okay, when I help you with it, you will be able to understand of what I'm doing. You just have to follow my lead. I'm trying to make all the quantities settle as per the question's demand. Okay, if the ratio of the income of A and B in 2020, this is A and this is B, this is 2020, this is 2021. Okay, the ratio of income of A and B in 2020 was 5 is to 4. 5 is to 4. Now, individually, individually means A in his own home and B in his own home. A in his own home, B in his own home. They are able to increase their incomes from 2020 to 2021 because the COVID period is gone. There is no second wave coming yet. Nobody knows. So they are about to increase their incomes. The incomes are the ratio of the individual incomes in 2020 and 2021 were 4 is to 5 and 2 is to 3. 4 is to 5. If this quantity has 4 in it, then the other quantity downstairs should have 5 in it. The ratio should be 4 is to 5. So I'll multiply it by 4 and have the same quantity with 5 there. If I am multiplying the left hand side of a quantity with 4, I will have to multiply the right hand side of the quantity with 4 as well. Sorted? Sorted? The ratio between A's own income between 2020 and 2021 is 4 is to 5. By this particular figure, are you able to understand? 4 is to 5, 5 is to 4 into 5, 5 into 5, 5 and 5 get cancelled. The ratio comes out to 4 is to 5. Similarly, the ratio between the income of B within himself should be 2 is to 3. If the value over here of B is 16 and that is equal to 2, then what should be equal to 3? That value would be equal to, if 16 is given as 2, then what is given as 3? That is 24. So I can write 24 over here directly. Got it? So if the total income of A and B in 2021 was this, then what is the income of B in 2021? 5 5s are 25 and 24 right away over here is 24. I'm so sorry that I wrote it as 25. It is 24. Now I'll be solving the fun part of it. The total income is 25 plus 24, 49. The 49 and 49 can be represented as 7,05,600 multiplied by what are they asking for? They are asking for the income of B. The income of B in these proportion signs is equal to 24. Now hitting it as fast as possible. 7 sevens are 49, 7 ones are 5, 7 0 0, 7 0 0, 7 8 are 56, 1 0 0, 1 double 0 8 0. Alright. Yeah, 7 8 to 56, then maybe 2 0 will come here. This is 7 lakhs, this will come down to 1 lakh 800, then 7 ones are 7 ones are 7 fours are 28, 30, okay, 7 fours are 28, 7 fours are 28, double zero. This comes out as 14,400. Mm-mm-mm. Should I be smart here or should I do the donkey work? It's okay to do the donkey work, okay? This double zero multiplied by 24. I'll use the last two zeros later. 4 fours are 16, 4 fours are 16, 17, 4 ones are 4, 5. Okay, multiplied by 2 fours are 8, 2 fours are 8. This is 2, 2 ones are 2. Then 6, then 15, 8 1 9 9 plus 5, 14, 14 and this 3 4 5 6 double 0 is the income of B. 3 4 5 6 double 0 is the income of B in the year 2021. The only part that you were supposed to understand, the only tricky part in this question was this. I will repeat it for you. The ratio of the incomes of A and B in 2020 was 5 to 4. This is the 5 and this is the 4. This is the first part. Okay? This is the first part. The ratio of their individual incomes came out to be 4 is to 5. This entire thing is 4 is to 5. Okay? 4 is to 5 in 2021. Okay. For A alone and for B alone, this is 2 is to 3. This is 2 is to 3. So if the total income of A and B in 2021 and this, then what is the income of B? So this is the only trick. This is the second part of it. This is the only trick which you need to solve and you will be through with the question. Okay. The next concept is about elections. I will finish off things for till concept 23 over here and then we'll be moving on to the next concept tomorrow morning. Thank you.